months now, a man is now facing charges in what police called an execution-style murder in the Bronx. 23-year-old Manuel Reyes was arrested on murder and manslaughter charges. Police say that he used social media to arrange a meeting with 20-year-old Jefferson Hernandez and two friends to sell them two motorcycles in Mott Haven. And when they arrived, police say that Reyes pulled out a gun and killed Hernandez.
It's alarming.
You have no idea who's ordering these.
So there's no way to trace it?
No way to trace it.
And the bullets will kill someone just the same?
Bullets will kill someone just the same.
Really a nightmare. I can't believe this is happening to our family.
Ghost guns have become an emerging threat.
They're killing each other.
So the bottom's a real gun, the top is a ghost gun?
That's correct.
They look the same to me.
It's something that we have to pay attention to.
I could barely screw in a light bulb, but I'm able to put one of these firearms together.
People can sit at home in their living room, log onto their computer, access a piece of software, and print out a machine gun that can kill people.
It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I always remember him for the chubby face, a goofy kid he was.
He was always smiling.
Always smiling. I knew Julian since he was a baby. He was one of my first baby cousins since we moved here to the States. My last interaction with him, I saw him like walking home from school. I just told him, hey, go to school. And he just looked back at me. He just gave me like a big smile. And that's the last time I saw Julian alive.
His younger cousin, Julian, was killed walking near this New Rochelle intersection just north of New York City. It was 3 in the afternoon on a school day, and police say the gun used to kill him can be bought online and put together in a matter of minutes.
From what I was told, it was a dispute over a girl. I mean, regardless what it was, I don't think there was, at 16 years old, there's no reason to settle things with shooting down another kid. It just doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense.
And then you find out it was a ghost gun. Did you even know what that was?
I had no idea. I was hoping at the very minimum we could find where this gun came from and hold that person responsible.
How would you describe ghost guns in your life?
As an emerging trend that we're concerned about.
This threat is no longer emerging. It is here.
Going after ghost guns.
What I'm seeing the last several months is truly unprecedented.
How easy is it to get a ghost gun and to put it together?
Some of the kits come with everything required to build it in a matter of 20, 30 minutes. It comes in the mold, so you snap it in. Everything you need here to finish it, minus the power tools involved. You don't go to a licensed dealer. You don't have a background check run. The parts come to one location. It can be your home, and in the privacy of your basement, you can assemble one of these.
So why do they even call it ghost gun?
I think the main reason is because the anonymity behind it, the fact that there's no markings on it, and the fact that it can't be traced.
How has this tragedy affected your family?
One day you're just living through a nightmare. There's one of your 16-year-old cousin that was gunned down, broad daylight, and by another 16-year-old, and just in disbelief, how can this happen?
The NYPD as a whole is seeing a 325% increase in ghost guns recovered in the city of New York.
That's a big jump. And those are just the guns we know about.
Exactly, those are just the guns we know about. And what we started seeing in 2021, which is continuing this year, is that these ghost guns are popping up more, not just with long-term investigations we're doing, but they're popping up more with those patrol cops doing a car stop and finding a firearm.
Police are finding them during traffic stops, when executing search warrants at homes, and when they're left at crime scenes. That's what happened here outside of a New York City nightclub. Surveillance video shows the moments a man opens fire outside, striking 4 different people. And body cam footage shows the moments police fired back, and when the suspect dropped the handgun to the ground. It turns out it was a personally made firearm, or ghost gun.
out of total New York City Police Department guns recovered that are ghost guns is still a small percentage. But what I tell everybody is that any gun that could fire bullets can kill someone and can hurt somebody.
The first gun I'm going to have you shoot here, it's going to be a Glock Model 19 9mm, professionally made by Glock.
They look the same.
They look the same, right, and that's how they're designed. That's the whole point of it.
That's the real gun.
That's the real gun. You want to try the other one?
Yeah. It shoots exactly the same.
And that...
I'd have no idea.
No.
So looking at these, you can't tell the difference, and also shooting them, you can't tell the difference.
No, you can't. No. Look at them. I mean, other than the color, if they used a black grip on this one, it would look exactly the same.
This ghost gun is well put together. What would happen if it wasn't well put together? Could that be even more dangerous?
Oh, absolutely. It could be dangerous. It might not function correctly. Rounds could get stuck in there. Clearly, the accuracy will be off. The sights could be off. Anything could happen.
And it's the same ammunition for both?
Same ammunition, same magazine.
So an officer really at a scene, if they get a bullet, they wouldn't know whether it came from a real gun or a ghost gun?
Not at all.
Which is probably a problem, too, in tracing down the gun involved.
Correct.
We were allowed rare access into the NYPD's Forensic Crime Lab, where they are tracing them down and making matches. These are all recovered firearms?
These are all recovered firearms from New York City streets. This is basically an assassin's weapon. Al Capone era. This is fully automatic. You'll see the serial number right on this side of the slide, and then you'll see, right? So these markings are what we use to authenticate.
And a ghost gun has none of that.
Ghost gun will not have those serial numbers.
So everyone at all these stations, they're analyzing a firearm recovered in New York?
They are. That's their sole function, is to perform firearms examinations.
While licensed guns are easier to track, detectives and the ATF are getting creative. To anyone out there who might want to buy one and do something violent with one of these, thinking it can't be traced, what do you have to say to them?
We're going to trace it. We're going to find out how you got it. We're going to hold you accountable, both those who use it and those who provided it to the criminals.
When a ghost gun is recovered from a crime scene, detectives can shoot that gun into a tank full of water.
This is a bullet recovery tank, and this is a projectile, a bullet that was just fired into the tank. And notice its symmetry. We keep it in the tank so we could preserve the evidentiary value.
They then put it under the microscope and use a database to compare it to other bullets left at crime scenes.
The bullets that go down the barrel towards a target, that's what I have up here.
This allows investigators and detectives to put two bullets right under the one microscope and compare the two visually.
So it's just two different bullets right here.
Yeah, see how I can move them kind of in different directions.
So if I'm seeing this right, two different bullets and they have the same grooves right here.
Right.
Not just bullets, but also shell casings that can leave even more clues behind.
The shell casings are the key. The shell casings are where the database is able to share the images and establish those links. We do examinations on bullets also, but the discharge shell casings are really where the money is.
Are we finding that the same ghost gun was used in multiple shootings over a period of time?
We are. We have instances where we perform our examinations and we learn that a ghost gun has been used in not only one particular crime or shooting or assault. We see that it's been used over and over in certain instances.
So that is happening?
That occurs, yes, sir.
The prices are going down. That's also why there's more in circulation. The amount of online retailers that are selling these gun part and gun part kits are just going up and rising. Just within the Intelligence Bureau, we've identified over 120 online retailers which are, in fact, selling and shipping to New York State and New York City.
Lawmakers in New York took action. They passed a bill that recently went into effect, making the sale or possession of an unregistered ghost gun illegal. But some officers and victims' family members worry it won't be enough.
We're leading the way at this point. Other states are now catching up.
Senator Holman wrote the new legislation.
I can't imagine the number of ghost guns that are floating around New York City. And the sale and purchase of ghost guns has skyrocketed during the pandemic. You could have the pieces at home. It would only be illegal if you assembled the gun. But we've closed that loophole because obviously if you have the pieces at home, it's not going to take you much time to watch a YouTube video or get some sort of other instructions to assemble that gun and make it a dangerous weapon. I actually went on that website and put my 11-year-old daughter's name to see how far I could get. I could have purchased one right there on the spot before we passed our legislation.
How do you feel about the state of New York taking action and implementing this new law?
It's good to see action being taken. New York already has one of the strictest gun control laws in the state, but I think there needs to be more of a national effort because you could easily get these ghost guns in a different state and bring them in to New York. I don't think there's going to be any issue getting a gun if you want one.
Months after Jesus' cousin was killed, another 16-year-old, an innocent bystander, was shot to death while walking home from school in the Bronx. Police say the weapon used, a ghost gun.
Police across the country are increasingly finding ghost guns at crime scenes.
Days later, the president said he's issuing a federal rule this summer that will change the legal definition of a firearm to keep up with technology.
The NRA called this rule extreme. Extreme. Well, let me ask you, is it extreme to protect police officers? Extreme to protect our children?
It will require all ghost gun kits to come with a serial number and for licensed dealers to run background checks on someone buying one of these kits.
All of a sudden, it's no longer a ghost. It has a return address. It's going to help save lives.
It all starts with those online retailers. That's where we need increased legislation, the online retailers, because every state could make the most stringent state local. If they don't make it illegal for them to ship to every state in the United States, then, you know, that initial problem still exists.
Our family just hopes that something good comes of Julian's death. Not only was it a gun death, it was at the hands of a ghost gun, and he was 16 years old, so there's a lot to unpack about this situation.
How big of a problem is this?
I think it's a problem. I don't want to be an alarmist about it. I think it's a growing problem. As you see with the increases year over year in New York City, it's something that is definitely on the rise. We're looking at it from start to finish, and it starts with that initial order that any individual is making to one of these online retailers, and it finishes with hopefully getting that gun off the streets.
How do you feel about ghost guns today?
Now we're not only dealing with the guns we could track, we're also dealing with guns that we can't track. It's just a crisis. This is a gun crisis in the United States, and it's so obvious.
You're a printer! You're supposed to print!
I mean, is it the card?
These are very real. You can purchase high-caliber weapons online in kits and they are priced to sell. The GUID lines that are put on firearms has caused this influx of guns shipping in, whether it's in kits or in another form. I have personally known for about 5 years these were circulating, however I did not realize this was a huge problem, so I felt it important to bring to light in the true crime community. Our family and loved ones are dying. If we can stop one toxic cause, we may save thousands.
These are very real. You can purchase high-caliber weapons online in kits and they are priced to sell. In my opinion, the GUID lines that are put on firearms. These are very real. You can purchase high-caliber weapons online in kits and they are priced to sell. In my opinion, the GUID lines that are put on firearms has caused this influx of guns shipping in, whether it's in kits or in another form. I have personally known for about 5 years these were circulating, however I did not realize this was a huge problem, so I felt it important to bring to light in the true crime community. Our family and loved ones are dying. If we can stop one toxic cause, we may save thousands of lives. Be a voice, see something, say something. It takes a village to raise a child. If we don't stand together, we will fall alone.